Hello. This video is for people that are probably just getting involved in a narcissistic relationship and they don't yet have the information what's going to happen to them. They have no idea. This video may be old news for some of you that have already figured out that your narcissist will never take responsibility for anything, or will always put the blame for anything going wrong in their life onto somebody else. There are newer members of this narcissistic world disorder, and they don't know any of how that plays out. So I'm trying to talk to them and inform them. The easiest way to just kind of nip this in the bud is just don't blindly believe every single thing your narcissist tells you as the truth. Remember, when your narcissist is talking about something and your narcissist is telling you about a story that happened and your narcissist is telling you, oh yeah, this is what happened, you're only getting that side of the story. And they always say there's three sides, right? His, hers, and the truth. Hers, and the truth. His, and the truth. Whatever your pronoun is. But there's always three sides to the truth. You're getting one side, and it's doctored by a narcissist who doesn't want to take blame for anything. They can't take blame for anything. It's too hard on them. So I guess I really am talking to newer people. You're getting involved in this new relationship, and it's inevitable. There's a back and forth. You get to know each other. You talk about each other's past things, whatever. So here's a list of 7 things wherein the narcissist will never take any blame, ever. Number 1, they'll talk a lot about exes. My ex did this. My ex did that. My ex was crazy. My ex took all my money. My ex... You have to stop and ask yourself, look at Minnie, she's still in her pajamas. You have to stop and ask yourself about the woman or man who is the ex, and what might their story be, right? You have to pay proper mind. What might their story be? I knew enough to ask a lot of questions, so I actually at one point said to my narcissist, I would have left you too. I don't look at his exes as being crazy. I don't look at them as being at fault for anything. So you are able to make up your own mind different from what the narcissist is talking to you. You don't have to accept at face value full truth of everything they're saying. It was my ex's fault. It was my... They're always going to say that because they can't say that they lied and cheated and stole all around that relationship and it drove the ex to a certain point. They're not going to say that. They're going to say what sounds and paints them in a good light and sounds best, yes? So when they're talking about an ex, don't become, in the term flying monkey, you've heard that before, don't become yet another flying monkey that allows your narcissist, when you're talking to your narcissist, don't allow their talk about their ex to smear their ex and for you to just believe them and jump on the bandwagon of being just another flying monkey who thinks negatively about the ex. She may have reasons for doing, and maybe some of the things he talks about are bad, but maybe she had reasons for those. So I just don't want you walking into this blindly and believing every word the narcissist says. Very dangerous place to be because they'll get you right here and they'll let you believe everything they say and they can keep you and safe from any kind of truths. So, number 1 is the ex thing. They'll blame everything on the ex. Number 2, my business partner. Oh, the business was going so good, and then my business partner did such and such, and so it failed. That's a very common one when you start to get... You might be younger if you're watching this and you're just in a new relationship, or you might be older. But as we age and we're older, there's a lot of stories about people having businesses because that's what you do as you grow, you age, you start a business, whatever. If they had a business and it fell apart, they will never, ever, in 1 billion years, ever take responsibility for any of that. So if they're talking about a business they had or a job they lost or something to do with their professional life, it'll be somebody else's fault. Look through that. I'm not asking you to sift through it and argue with them and challenge them. This is for your information, so you can keep your eyes open. Because maybe after this list of 7, if you pay attention in the next month and you're like, oh my God, she's right. All 7 of those topics, he didn't take blame on any of them. That's kind of a red flag, my little loves. It is a very, very big red flag for someone never to take blame on anything. Oh my God. Number 3, my brother, my sister, they're unreasonable. That's why I don't talk to them anymore. Okay. I'm very close with my brother, and he and I make a joke all the time. Like if we ever weren't talking to each other or something, which would never happen and has never happened, we would be on each other's doorstep until the other one was talking to the other one. Why? Because we're healthy, functioning individuals who love each other. And there's no way on earth I would ever go through life not talking to my brother. There's no way on earth he would ever go through life not talking to his sister. Never going to happen. So if something's that big and they're estranged from a family member, and I'm not saying that there might not be validity to what they say. I'm not saying that there might not be some kind of, how do I say, justification for them to maybe be mad at their I'm not saying there's no justification ever, but when you listen to them talk about it, I bet it's, oh, she did this, she did that, she did this, she's crazy, ba 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 ba. Well, that's impossible, isn't it? That's impossible for everything to be somebody else's fault. So I just caution you against that as well. They'll also talk about their friends being crazy. Okay, so 3 is family, 4 is friends. Oh, I'm not friends with them anymore. You had to see what happened. Don't even get me started. It's the same kind of thing. They'll come up with a big elaborate story talking about how their friends are crazy. That's number 4. Number 5, their money. Oh, it's going to be the stock market, the real estate market, the downturn, the cyclical something, the economic recession. There's going to be a reason that they don't have what they had before. On the same topic of that, they can say my money was mishandled by somebody else, an accountant they had, a money manager, whatever. So that is number 6. So they kind of go together because they're going to excuse away any unsuccess they've had when it comes to money. They're not going to take responsibility and say, you know what, I dropped the ball. I did something wrong in that business. I learned my lesson. I counted as getting a master's education in that failure, and here I am doing better. They don't approach it that way. They're not going to say it that way. They're going to say that people, circumstances, the market, somebody messed with their money. Number 7, and this you will hear if you've heard nothing else of those things yet, you will definitely hear this in your relationship. You did everything wrong all the time. If anything ever comes and it's something's funky going on, you made me do this. You made me think that. You made me act on this. You made me follow through with that. You said this, so I did that. Now, there's so much inherently wrong with that. The biggest one being, who does that? I don't believe in tit for tat. I would never compromise my own moral code and go out and misbehave because somebody misbehaved on me. No way. I'm sleeping well at night. I did nothing wrong. I was absolutely not at all betraying anybody in any way. If the betrayal starts to creep in and you start to feel funky and there's messages and things are odd and blah, blah, they're going to blame you. Listen to the words that they say. Well, you're the one that, got into a fight with me that day and I left all mad. What did you expect me to do? Oh, I don't know. Come home and work it out like a normal person would be the answer. You know what I mean? So just keep these things in mind. They don't like to take responsibility. They absolutely will not take blame for anything. And I just want you to be aware of it. So as these subjects come up and you're listening to stories and you're getting to know each other, if again, like I said, you are in the beginning stages of getting to know them, listen. A healthy person takes blame for things. A healthy person has in their stories, I probably could have handled that situation better. I probably could have, like when I talk about when I was in college, I was a very nervous person when I was younger. I was a very nervous student. I was a very highly anxious student, right? So I talk about college now and I say, you know what? I wish I did go to a basketball game. I wish I weren't so stressed. I didn't do everything right. I take blame for missing out on some fun, some life experience during that time. I had my head down, I studied, I worked, that's it. I don't blame anybody else. I don't blame life circumstances. I don't blame... Okay, so this is just one example that just popped into my head, but when you are with a healthy, functioning, normal individual, inherent, woven in throughout the fabric of their stories is going to be some blame and some not. But when it's all blame for other people, that's a big flag. So you want to keep your eye on that. That's all. Okay? Chin up.